Hello and welcome to another Kepler workflow development video. In this video I'm demonstrating how you update the value of a parameter within a workflow while it's executing. Now there's a few things to note about this. So I'm using variable setter, and this is what actually will take a parameter or variable name such as x, and it'll set it to whichever value comes into its import part. But the thing to note is that I'm using a DDF director, and the reason is because there's a known bug with a PN director where you will eventually encounter an error from the variable setter actor if it's operating with under a PN director. And you can make simple workflows such as this that do work or seem to work all the time, but in more complex workflows it's much more likely you'll get this error that I'm talking about. So I'd recommend avoiding this if you can. This is how I solved issues in the parallel and calibration workflows. But if you can somehow route inputs to actors and just use import ports like I've been showing, I would recommend doing that over actually using a variable setter, since it is much more complicated to do this instead. So, and why you would want to update a parameter is really up to whatever you need to do. It's dependent on what you need to do within the workflow. So I'm going to go ahead and run this, and while it's executing, so what's going on is it's sleeping for I believe a second, yes, and this display at the end is displaying what the value of x currently is, even though it's not updating in real time on the GUI. And this ramp is just in computer science we would call this a for loop. Basically it has an initial value, a step, and then a firing, or a certain number of times it's going to fire. So in computer science this is called iteration. So we're basically just iterating from 0 to 10 up to but not including. As you can see in the display, we went from 0 to 9. And that's basically all there is to it. So, and now you can see that when the workflow finished, you can see the last value that x had, and it did finally update. But yes, that's all there is to updating a parameter in real time in a workflow.